So many apologists, Trinitarian apologists, are trying to make a lot of hay, as they say, out of the fact that it's not only John that teaches Jesus is God or Yahweh, but it's also in the synoptics, they say. And a favorite of a lot of Trinitarian apologists at the moment, Anthony, is the opening to Mark's gospel. So it says, the beginning of the gospel of Jesus Christ, the Son of God, as it is written in Isaiah the prophet, look, I am sending my messenger ahead of you, who will prepare your way. A voice of one crying out in the wilderness, prepare the way for the Lord, make his path straight.
Yep.
Now, a lot of Bibles, they reference Malachi 3 at this point.
Yes.
See, this is God speaking, Yahweh. I'm going to send my messenger. He will clear the way before me. Then the Lord you seek will suddenly come to his temple, and he's the messenger of the covenant, and so on. So they say, well, that's Jesus. Mark says that he's quoting from Isaiah, not Malachi. So isn't that the simplest way to do away with this Jesus is Yahweh nonsense?
Well, it's an easier way than that. First of all, the messenger cannot be God. So if you say that Jesus is God and Jesus is the messenger, that's just wrong. I, God, this is Yahweh speaking, I'm going to send my messenger. That's not God. God cannot be the messenger or his own messenger. And that messenger will clear the way before me, before Yahweh. Then the Lord whom you seek, I think is Jesus, will suddenly come to his temple, namely the messenger of the covenant. That, I think, would have to be Messiah, who is the messenger of the new covenant. The messenger cannot be God himself.
Right. I say it's the simplest, just to simply read what Mark wrote, that he says that he's quoting from Isaiah. Because if we do what you try to do here in Malachi, to me, it gets a bit complex, especially when you explain it to people. Because to be fair, the context here, Anthony, it goes on to say in verse 5, I will come to you in judgment. So that's obviously God, Yahweh. And it's a bit difficult as well, because to me anyway, because the Lord here is Ha-Adon, which is always used of God, Yahweh, in the Old Testament, never
very,
for
very
anyone
rare,
else.
and that's true, but God cannot be the messenger of the covenant. That's absolutely out of the question. So if you said, then the Lord you seek will suddenly come to his temple, namely the messenger of the covenant, that cannot be God. That's ruled out. God is not his own messenger. Yes, quoting from Isaiah, that's...
Yeah, I mean, all the best manuscripts, all the early church fathers, they all have Isaiah. I know that there is a sort of variant where some just say the prophets, as it is written in the prophets. But Isaiah is mostly taken by most translations as the majority view. And it sort of makes sense because the quote itself, by the way, it's a combination. It's sort of a collage of Isaiah. There's a little bit of Exodus and a bit of Deuteronomy, even, I believe, in these two lines. So, yeah, anyway, that's an interesting...
Well, it's John the Baptist is the voice crying in the wilderness. And there could be an Elijah in the future as well. You know, Elijah's already come, Jesus said, but are we not expecting another Elijah? There could be an Elijah figure just prior to the second coming.